You've tuned in to another edition of The Break Room, a weekly conversation about how the City of St. Augustine works from those who do the work every day. Hosted by the City of St. Augustine's Communications Director, Melissa Wissel, The Break Room offers a closer look at the different city departments and provides updates on current and upcoming projects and events. And now your host, Melissa Wissel.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Break Room. I'm Melissa Wissel, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine. We just wrapped up a spectacular public event last weekend with a three-part ceremony commemorating the 200th anniversary of St. Johns County being established as a United States territory with its transfer of authority from Spain. In downtown, our living history interpreters performed a reenactment of the transfer of authority at Government House. Immediately following, there was a procession down King Street along the South Bayfront with horse-drawn carriages, and that parade ended at St. Francis Barracks Field, where the ceremony concluded with the exchange of flags, the lowering of the Spanish flag, and the raising of the American flag. But the 200th anniversary celebration for St. Johns County doesn't end there. So in studio today, to talk about what else is happening around the county, I have no one better to give us those details than St. Johns County Public Affairs Director, Lorena Inclán. Lorena, welcome to The Break Room.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for that welcome. It's my first time on The Break Room.
Well, we are very happy to have you. And you've got a lot going on at the county. We'll talk about your arrival in the county here with us a little bit later. But for right now, let's talk about what else is happening in the county for the 200th.
We have so much going on. And of course, we kicked it off with the awesome event that the city put together over the weekend. I had so much fun. You did such a great job, Melissa.
Thank you.
Really
It was
fun.
a lot of fun.
It felt like a blast from the past. You know, it was really cool. But so that was the kickoff. And then on Saturday, July 17th, we have another 200th anniversary event. It's called the Then, Now, and the Future Symposium. It's happening at Flagler College over at Lewis Auditorium. Great. And it's going to be from 2 to 4. We have some really great speakers speaking about the history of St. Johns County. Obviously, talking about 200 years of history and try to cram it into 2 hours is going to be a lot, but they're going to focus on the highlights of the fascinating history in the county and looking ahead to the next 200 years. And for that, we have Christina Parrish Stone, the Executive Director of St. John's Cultural Council, Dr. Thomas Graham, Professor Emeritus of History in the Humanities Department for Flagler College, Dr. Anne Browning Masters, author, poet, and educator, and Gail Phillips, the Executive Director of Lincolnville Museum and Cultural Center. Those are the 4 speakers happening or who are going to be speaking at this symposium. And
they're all locals. That's a heavy lineup, and they're local.
Absolutely.
They're all right here.
I'm sure that many of the listeners recognize those names. And if you're a history buff out there, I encourage you to come out to this event. It's put on by the St. Johns County Public Library System and the St. Johns Cultural Council. So a lot of interesting things that maybe you didn't know about St. Johns County. So I'm excited. I'm going to be there.
Okay.
And so that's happening Saturday, July 17th.
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
Okay, right in the afternoon. Okay.
In the afternoon, yeah, Lewis Auditorium. And then on July 20th, we're going to kick off a photography exhibition over at the St. Johns County Administration Building on San Sebastian View. Okay. We are going to be showing people all different kinds of photos from all the districts in St. Johns County, and they are local photographers who we're showcasing. And the cool thing about that exhibition is that if you can't come on July 20th, that's fine because it's going to be going on through December.
Okay.
So you have more than enough time to go and check it out.
This is ongoing. It's a display there in the rotunda?
Yes, a display in the rotunda. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And we're setting up for it already. So on Monday, we're going to kick that off July 20th.
Excuse me 1 second. When you're talking about the regions, so St. Johns County is huge.
Yes.
So we're really reaching out to all ends of the county, if you will, to get this contribution from folks that we have locally.
Absolutely. We want everybody from Hastings to Summerhaven to Nocatee, Julington Creek, come out and just get immersed in the history and culture of your county. And I misspoke. I said it was Monday. It's actually Tuesday, July 20th.
Okay.
When we're doing the exhibition, kicking off the exhibition. Yes. So that's a good point, Melissa. Yeah, we want everybody to come out and really see the work of our local photographers. We have so much talent here in St. Johns County, as you know.
And is it mostly current photography, or is there also historic pictures?
This will be current.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be more current. But speaking of historic photography, SJC200.com, you'll be able to see so many historic pictures. I encourage our listeners to go on sjc200.com because I could just spend hours just looking at all those pictures. It's really interesting. One of my favorites is a picture of Hastings from the 1920s, which was known as the Irish potato capital.
Really?
And yeah, it was really interesting. And yes, and it was the picture you could see. It was like a bustling town. There were so many cars up and down the road there. So it's definitely an interesting picture to see from the 1920s. And not just that one, but there are so many others.
Right.
So go on there and check that out. And you can see all the events there too. And then our signature event, of course, is July 21st, which is the historical day of when St. Johns County was formed into a county. And that's going to be a celebration over at the St. Johns County Administration Building. And we're going to be unveiling a time capsule.
Ooh, now tell me about the time capsule. How is that going to work?
Well, we've been asking different partners to come and put an item. We've been asking the city and other agencies to send us an item that signifies 2021 for you, because that capsule will not be opened again until 2071.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so 50 years, and we want to leave our mark. You know, this is our chance to sort of leave our mark in history, and for people 50 years from now to see, you know, what St. Johns County was all about in 2021.
Right. So in 50 years from now, what would we want someone to see when they open this box? So think about if we did this 50 years ago and we opened it today, it would tell us the story of what was happening back then.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And yeah, exactly. That's what we're telling people to sign up, sort of think of an item in that way. What do you want people to say 50 years from now when they open it? And so we've been getting a lot of interesting suggestions. Like, for example, the supervisor of elections wants to put in the 2020 ballot in the time capsule, which is so interesting to me. So that's a piece of our history. Right. And
in 50 years, they're going to look at that and go, that's a piece of paper?
Right. Exactly.
They used pencils back then? Or pens? Right. What is that all about?
I know. That's true. Right. It'll probably be changed completely in 50 years. And it might be like a relic, like, look at this. And then also somebody else told me that they were looking at potentially putting in the time capsule like a brochure, a promotions brochure for visitors. Like, what were we promoting at that time?
Right. So, I've come across an old map of St. Augustine that I had in my files from 20 years ago. You know, those little colorful maps that I didn't even realize. I was like, wow, we were here that long ago. And I look at it and there's certain things not there and other things that don't exist anymore. So
I know. It's fascinating. History was always my favorite subject in school. I don't know about you. Did you like history?
Not really.
Really? I always found it so interesting.
It's more interesting to me now that I work in it and I'm surrounded by it every day.
Absolutely. Just in the building that you work.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Surrounded by it.
And just real quick to let folks know, when we talk about the history of the county being established as a territory, the Suwannee River split the state, if you will. The east of the river was St. Johns County. West of the river is Escambia County. They're actually going to be having their kickoff celebration this weekend as well. So it is a statewide celebration.
Absolutely. And I grew up in Florida, and I just learned that recently. I had no idea that east of the Suwannee River was all considered St. Johns County. So technically, I was born in Miami. I was born in the original limits of St. Johns County.
You're in St. Johns County now.
Right, exactly. Right? Exactly. So that was cool.
Well, if you are just now tuning in, you are listening to The Break Room. I'm Melissa Whistle, Communications Director for the City of St. Augustine, and today I'm talking with Lorena Inclán. She is the Public Affairs Director for St. Johns County. Before we move on to another topic, I do want to remind our listeners, as Lorena said, sjc200.com. So on the web, sjc200.com, you'll get all the information about the symposium, the photography exhibition, and of course the time capsule dedication on July the 21st. That is open to the public, 10 a.m. At the St. Johns County facilities on San Sebastian View. Lorena, so you're new to St. Johns County. We recognize you. Folks may be listening. How do I know that name? You were with us in the television market.
I was. I covered St. Johns County for many years as a reporter and anchor at Action News Jax. Melissa, you and I go way back.
We go way back. Lots of good stories.
Yes.
And now new stories to tell. How are things going for you?
Doing well. I kind of hit the ground running when I came into this position. There's so much to do. St. Johns County is such a vibrant county, and there's so many things going on here. And my job is to let people know about those things, is sort of tell the story of the county and really just let people know what we're all about. And I'm so excited to lead that, and really let people know, hey, St. Johns County is a great place, and here's why.
Beyond just solid waste pickups and meeting announcements, which we all get bogged down in, and that's important. But there are some very cool stories to tell. What other stuff is going on? We're in the middle of summer. We've got camps, the beaches. What else? Is there anything else you want to kind of hit on with our listeners this week?
Absolutely. I know a lot of people, everybody loves their libraries. It's a big deal. Our librarians interact with the public every single day. So I do want to let people know that the library system is returning to regular hours, already returned to regular hours. So just so you know, and so in addition to the regular hours for the library, the Bookmobile will resume regular service from 8 to 5. And that's Monday through Friday. And then the library's online reference service, Ask a Librarian, will extend service hours from 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And of course, you can find all this information on sjcpls.org. That stands for St. Johns County Public Library System.
And this is great news because they were shut down and really heavily impacted with COVID.
Yeah, they were. And people really,
people do still read books.
Yes, they do, turns out. Exactly.
Not everybody's on a Kindle.
I have about 5 books on my nightstand, and I just love the feeling of the pages and turning the pages. So they're a part of the fabric of our community. So I'm happy to see that they return to regular service hours. I just want people to keep that in mind.
Great. And how's our beaches doing this summer? We seeing a lot of activity?
Good,
Lots of people coming out, driving on the beach?
Yes, yes. Yeah, some driving on the beach. You definitely have to, before you go out there, make sure you check conditions and check on that before you go out. But the beaches, of course, super popular. Everybody loves our beaches. And also...
excuse me real quick. Yeah. There is a newsletter for the beaches, correct?
Yes. That's what I wanted to touch on, is that we are working on a beach brief. It's called The Beach Brief.
Okay.
And it's an e-newsletter, and it's going to provide timely updates on what's going on the beach, just everything from projects that are happening there to letting people know if there are events happening. And we are still working on it. We're just tweaking a few things, making sure it's good to go. But we hope to be releasing that shortly.
And that'll be an online, something I can go subscribe to?
Yes. We're going to be posting. Keep an eye on our social media accounts, the county social media accounts, because we're going to be posting on there, letting people know how to sign up and receive their beach brief. But also, it's important for people to download the Reach the Beach app.
Oh, there's an app.
Yes.
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that.
Okay.
And it's really great. So if you're somebody who loves going to the beach, or even somebody who casually goes every now and then, go ahead and download it, because so much information on there.
Reach the Beach.
Reach the Beach.
And it's an app.
An app.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else? I know one other quick thing. We're all trying to be healthy. We're ranked among the healthiest counties. So as you were saying, St. Johns County is a great place to live.
Yes.
We love it here. A lot of other people do that. Too many people want to come and live here.
People are discovering us, aren't they? Yes. And as you mentioned, we were ranked one of the top 250 healthiest counties in the United States. That's out of 3,000 counties.
Wow.
So that is huge. And the people who put out the rankings, U.S. News and World Reports, they look at a bunch of different things. It's a complex formula having to do with population health, equity, education, economy, a bunch of other things, public safety, community. So they aggregate that, put that all together, and rank the counties. And we were in the top 50.
And we're in there.
For the second year in a row.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, there's always a lot going on at the county. Lorena, we're going to have to wrap it up here. For all that exciting things that are going on in the county for summer camp, summer recreation, make sure you get on to sjcfl.us. That's the county website. And we got to call it a wrap.
Yeah. All right. That was fun. You see, time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies. Thanks so much for coming in. We'll have you come back.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks, Lorena. As we wrap up another edition of The Break Room, I hope we answered your questions. If we didn't, take a minute and send us an email. If you missed part of this broadcast and want to go back and listen from the beginning, you can find us on the web at citysantauguradio.com. We want to keep you informed about what's happening in and around the city. And this week, we're going to be talking about the 200th anniversary. Be sure to check that out at sjc200.com. Remember that in order to stay connected, you need to be connected. Be sure that you like us and follow us. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City St. Aug. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
You've been listening to The Break Room, a weekly program addressing projects and programs offered by the City of St. Augustine. Join us each week as the city's communications director, Melissa Whistle, has in-depth conversations with the people who make our town work to meet the needs of our community. The Break Room is produced by communications specialist for the City of St. Augustine, Cindy Walker, and engineer by Flagler College communication major, Anne Marie Gresham. See you at this time next week for another edition of The Break Room.